Hi everyone, and welcome to TRAC Associates UK. We're delighted to be joined by Mark from Wolters today. Mark, how are you doing?
Fantastic. How about yourself, Mark?
We're doing great. So,
Awesome.
for those who are not familiar with woltersworld.com, can you just tell us a little bit about your company?
Well, what we do is we focus on honest travel advice, and we put out videos every Wednesday and Saturday from different places around the world. And we really focus on things that actually help out travelers. Because what we saw over the years of traveling, and after many, many guidebooks and many, many YouTube videos, everybody makes every single town sound fantastic,
Yeah,
and in reality, not every town is really worth visiting. And for a lot of travelers, I mean, a big part of our market are U.S. travelers, and they don't get you know 2 months vacation a year. They might get maybe time to go on one trip to Europe or one trip to Asia a decade or in their life.
mm,
And I started seeing it's like it's not really fair to these people to have all these guidebooks that make places sound so great when they're not. So really just started focusing on the best and the worst of traveling, the loves, things you'll love, things you'll hate about traveling, things that'll shock you, things you don't do when you travel. So when people do travel, they can have a better time and they're better prepared for traveling. Because sometimes some of the little things that annoy travelers, if you just knew about it beforehand, it wouldn't bother you because, oh, I knew this was going to happen, so it
mm.
doesn't bother you. So our videos really focus on that, really trying to help travelers explore the culture more and be ready for where they're going to be so they can focus on enjoying themselves instead of like, the little hiccups of traveling.
Yeah, there are a lot of people who kind of are drawn into maybe kind of touristy spots, and they aren't necessarily the best kind of representation of a culture.
Exactly. It's kind of like we went to Cancun in February because my youngest son has always wanted to go to Mexico, and I'm like, well, we're gonna go to Cancun. It's not the most Mexico of Mexico because it's a tourist place.
Yeah,
So like I was like, we gotta you gotta take the good and the bad, and it's like when you go to Venice, Venice is so overrun by tourists that you'll see there's 20 million tourists or 40 million tourists and 40,000 locals. You're like, yeah, it's not the most. It's beautiful and they're great and stuff like that, but if you really want to see real Mexico, you're going to go to different places. You want to see like real Italy and see those things, you might want to go to other places. But the thing is some of these tourist places are fun to go to, but you shouldn't think that New York is a perfect representation
mm,
of the U.S.
yeah,
because it's not. New York's its own beast. Just like London isn't England, isn't just the U.K. There's so much more to it,
yeah.
and so that's where we kind of want to show people that hey, the tourist places are great, but there's more to these countries, these cultures than just seeing New York and London.
Exactly. And I think timing and the season comes into it as well, because I know people who've been to, you're talking about Venice, for example, and if they're going in the height of summer, it's going to be really
Yes.
hot, and they complained about, oh, we thought this was going to be really romantic, but it just smells so bad, and because
Yeah.
obviously, with the sewers and everything, so.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and that's the thing is you really have to look at the seasons when you go, and that's in an economic side of thing.
Mm,
That's one of the things. One of the, I mean, I guess you say downfalls of traveling with children is, our kids are in school, so we travel a lot. So, but most of the time is yes, we're gonna have a big summer travel, and the prices are a lot higher. But if we could travel in October or late September or let's say late April, early May, everybody's still in school,
yeah,
so you go, you get great prices, that you still get good weather, all these things and you can get a lot more bang for your buck. But since most of us don't have the opportunity to go at those times, you are kind of stuck going at the peak season when not everyone else is there, and you're like,
yeah,
ah, this is where's my romantic? You're like you said, where's my romantic Venice? And it's hard to be when there's like 50,000 other people trying to get in the line with you and to go into San Marco Basilica.
yeah.
So yeah, these are one of the things that really can affect it. You're right with the seasonality and stuff like that, especially a place like Venice because you could go when the tides are really high and you're going to be walking on these platforms
Mm,
instead of walking on the cobblestones. So it's
yeah.
kind of an interesting take.
And how much of a difference does it make, say, if you're looking to book a trip on a Tuesday instead of a Saturday? Is there much kind of difference in the price?
If you're looking going across the pond, U.S. to Europe, the difference isn't that much. However, if you're going for where I see the bigger difference is, it's like if you're traveling the U.S., is weekend prices are usually a lot lower for hotels in a
Oh,
lot of places
yeah,
than during the week because they get the business travelers. However, if you're going to a big tourist location, that goes the opposite way. Like I was in Amsterdam last week, and my hotel like on Thursday was 120 euros.
Oh,
But
wow.
then on Friday it was 250 euros because they know there's tons of tourists coming in. So you can have these really big fluctuations. So what I tend to do is when I buy flights, I have my rough idea when I want to go. Like I'd like to go like July 5th. Okay, and so I look July 5th, but I also look the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th around there to give me a window and see what day works best for me. Because sometimes, especially on the intercontinental flights, I mean you can look at a couple $100 difference going on a Wednesday versus a Thursday or a Saturday or something like that. So it pays to shop around. But I've never really found that there's exact days that are better than other days. I know some people swear by it, but for me, as much as I travel, I mean, if you're going to do an EasyJet flight, Fridays and Sundays are going to be the highest ones for the weekend travelers, so you're better to fly like on a Tuesday or something. But in general, if you have the flexibility, that's going to give you the best bet and the best kind of bang for your buck because you can pick and choose what are the right times for you. But again, if you got kids or you only have a limited holiday period, I know some jobs, you can't be gone during high season, so you have to be there. You can only travel these other times, so that can kind of affect it too.
Yeah. And how? I'm just curious, and I'm sure a lot of other people listening will be curious as well. How do you manage to travel so much? Do you kind of support yourself with other means?
Yeah, I have a day job. I'm a university professor, so I teach, but I have all the school holidays. So I'll have 3 months of the summer, a month of the winter, spring break, fall break, and if I can, I'll have longer weekends sometimes. And so we'll go for like when we went to Mexico, we went for like 5 days. Or we'll go to, fly down to Belize for 6 days or something like that when there's a school holiday or something. But I have a real job that pays for a lot of it. And then we also, we make money off of the, the ad revenue and stuff like that off the website and off the YouTube videos and stuff like that. But also what really makes it easier for us to go is we decided to make the sacrifices. Like if you looked at our cars are 10 years old. Okay, they're nothing special. They got 150, 180,000 miles on them because look, they're going to work. I don't need to buy a new car every 4 years or 5 years. I don't need to have. We don't have cable. We have internet and internet TV like Netflix and stuff like that. And by cutting some of these little costs, it adds up over a while. Because if you go from a $200 a month cable bill to a $50 a month cable bill, well, shoot, in 1 year's time, you've got a trip to Europe. You've got a trip to Asia. By just cutting the cable. And also other things we do is a lot of times we don't eat out as much when we're home. We'll eat at home, cook dinner at home and stuff like that. And it's amazing how much money you can save just by doing that. So then we know that, look, we're going to go to Sweden. We're going to go to Italy. We're going to eat out there. So instead of going to the smorgasbord here or going to the Italian restaurant in town, we just save that money up to put it towards eating when we're out of the country. So we do a lot of different things to kind of cut costs. So it's little things that you can do. When a lot of people say, well, I can never pay for travel. I can never pay for travel. I'm like, well, if you don't have, your $4 coffee every morning, well, that's $20 a week times 50 weeks. Well, there's $1,000 right there. And that's, a flight to Ireland from Chicago. Plus you got another $300 left over. So, hey, you know what? You can have a nice long weekend or a short, 5-day trip for that price by just cutting out the $4 coffees. And so you have these little things you can do to save up. And it's not easy. And I don't tell people to do all these things because for some people, like, no, I like having my cable. I like watching TV when I'm home and all these things. And that's fine. But so you can find ways where you can cut costs at certain spots. It can make a difference.
Well, it's about compromise, really, because I'm
Exactly.
sure you've noticed in recent years there's been quite a lot of people who are selling their cars or maybe their homes even, and they just go traveling the world and they do blogs and they're kind of making the most of now rather than kind of saving up for a big holiday. And
you also have a lot of people that people aren't collecting things anymore. They're collecting experiences.
Yeah.
And so that's one thing we like to do. It's like, look, I don't need a nice car. I mean, I need a car because I have to go to work and I got to take my kids to school, but I don't have to have a 2018 Porsche Cayenne, kind of thing. So like, no, I've got my 2006 Yukon, So you find these little things, and that's true. So a lot of people have kind of gone away from the traditional settings, like I'm going to blog and stuff like that. What we don't realize is if you're used to a lifestyle living well and having a real full-time job, the pay of blogging and stuff like that is not the same thing as having a full-time job that pays the bills. But you do get that, like you said, the compromise, the freedom to do what you want at the time you want to have it. However, the other side of it is you if you don't get published and people don't watch your videos, or they don't read your blog, or they don't click on your link here or there, well, then you got some problems. So it is a compromise.
Yeah. Just going back to traveling to countries, I was just curious. What's been your favorite place to visit?
Well, I always say Brazil's my favorite place to visit, but I have to preface it with I do speak Portuguese. And when you go to Brazil and you speak Portuguese, things are a lot easier, a lot safer, and a lot more fun. But Brazil's a great place. But I'd say for people that, if you want to language neutral, I don't speak any other languages, I don't do any of these other things, I always kind of recommend people to go to Italy, because you have super nice people. You've got good food, and pretty much everyone knows Italian food. So it's not like, what are we eating?
Yeah.
You know what those things are. Lots of cultures, museums, free stuff you can see. And the people are fantastic. Even if you don't speak Italian, they're still going to talk to you and communicate with you and help you have a good time. So that's one of the places I always kind of recommend. Is look, if you want a place that's going to give you the food, the culture, the sights, Italy is always a nice one to go to.
And that's another thing. Do you find traveling has motivated you to improve or learn more languages?
Yeah, actually, yes, it has. Because you'd be amazed just by speaking a few words. I mean, you don't have to. I'm not saying be fluent, because it's hard to get fluent in Hungarian in 2 weeks, 2 months before you go. But just knowing a few words, like the thank yous and the pleases and where is and things like that, you'd be amazed how it really opens people's eyes and makes them a lot more friendly to you. I was in Poland about 3 weeks ago, and I was I ordered dwa piwa, prosim, and the guy stops, looks at me, and says, "You just ordered 2 beers, please, the correct way in Poland." He's in shock, and he's so happy. So he gave me better service, and it's just little things like that. By knowing these things, it really helps. And I know when you learn a language and you can actually talk to the people. I mean, that's one of the things is you can see stuff online, you can watch videos to get an idea, but when you go there and you're in situ, you're in the place, and you're speaking Italian with the people, they open up, and you get so much more of the culture that way. Coming to the U.S., you speak to the people, you get so much more out of it than just if you're going to Orlando and seeing Disney World. Just having that opportunity to talk with people really goes a long way. And a lot of people really appreciate it, because if you're most people, they think, oh, well, you'll speak English because that's kind of the international language.
Yeah.
But if you go into a smaller country, you go to Lithuania, I used to live there, and I spoke Lithuanian when I was there. I had to teach them classes in Lithuanian, and so I'd go out and order beers and stuff like that, or go out with my friends, and I speak some Lithuanian. The bartender would stop. Oh my God, foreigner speaking Lithuanian! This is so crazy. I can't tell you how many free drinks I got in Lithuania just because I could order in Lithuanian. The guy next to me at the bar, the lady next to me at the bar, holy crap. Is your family Lithuanian? No, my family's from Germany and stuff. Oh my God, then that's double. So then ispekata and drinks away. I think I lost half of a liver because I spoke too many languages. But that's one thing is if you can learn a language, and it changes everything. I mean, I can't recommend it enough to people if they're going to be travelers, because even if you learn another language and you're not going to that country on your next trip, at least you have that, and you might meet people from that country. Because I'll speak to by broken Italian to the Italians I meet around the world, and that just opens them up, and you get to be more friendly with them and meet new people, and it's just a really cool thing.
Yeah, definitely. I myself, I try to improve the languages I already know, and then obviously use them when I'm abroad. Because I think a lot, I don't know about the US, but certainly in the UK, there's kind of an attitude of, well, English is the international language, so therefore everyone else should speak it. But I think it's that, like you were saying, that old saying, if you speak to someone in their language, you speak to their soul, and if you speak to someone in a different language, you only speak to the brain or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that's exactly. I 100% agree with that.
Okay, just finally, what's going on this summer? What plans have you got for the summer?
Well, we just got back from Poland, Croatia, Montenegro, Italy, and the Netherlands. And then we'll go to Sweden, Finland, Russia, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Scotland, Spain, and Greece. And then we'll also travel somewhere in the U.S. Yeah, it's going to be a crazy summer.
But very much a Euro trip, though.
Yeah, it's a Euro trip. Wife's birthday's coming up, so she wanted to go back to Greece because she's got family there. So we decided to do kind of a big trip there. But next year, because we've tried to get more towards Central and South America. So last year we went to Brazil, Peru, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Mexico, and I know later this year we're trying to get a Southern Africa, like the Cone of Africa kind of thing, trying to get there. And then next summer, we're putting together a Southeast Asia trip and another trip to Nicaragua to help some communities there. So we're trying to branch out more.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic. So yeah, thank you for your time, and it's been a pleasure speaking to you.
You too, Mark. I wish you a fantastic day, and everyone go learn languages. I'm telling you, go travel.
Exactly.